Yo, the fact that you think just because you brought Breeze and Peyton to New Orleans and they gave the Saints their one and only Super Bowl, that makes you inevitable like Thanos? And he's not willing to make any changes because he's afraid to rebuild and he's afraid of the future. Sean Payton is gone and he is never coming back, bro. This Saints franchise is a fucking joke. It's so bad that if you were to match the Saints with the LSU football team, LSU would have kicked their ass.
Some days I'm happy, some days I'm fucked up, some days I tell the voice in my head to shut the fuck up.
Fuck, I'd rather get a root canal than watch the New Orleans team. But that's a whole rant for another day. I hate the Saints. I hate the Saints. I hate the Saints. I never thought I'd say it. Well, I might as well sit on the ground Indian style like CM Punk because I'm about to drop a pipe bomb on these dudes. And just how the fuck did we get to this point? Well, we gotta go back. Back to the day Sean Payton retired from coaching in the NFL. You see, Sean Payton gave the Saints their one and only Super Bowl back in 2009, which made the Saints front office eternally grateful to him. So much that they listened to everything that he said and did everything that they wanted him to do, no matter how stupid and ridiculous it was. And trust me, at times, it was stupid and ridiculous. So Sean Payton's retirement left the Saints front office in shambles because they don't know success outside of Sean Payton and they are afraid to rebuild for the future. So what does he propose as soon as he walks out the door? He proposes that the Saints are a couple pieces away from being a Super Bowl contender. No need to fucking get new coaches or a new quarterback or new players. Y'all ain't gotta change the coaches and get a new quarterback and adapt to the modern NFL. Y'all can keep the culture the same so a part of him will always be with them. Then this motherfucker handed out king cakes on the way out the door. But before he left, he proposed that Dennis Allen takes over as head coach so he can keep the Sean Payton culture alive. And the Saints front office, being the gullible dumbasses that we know them to be, believed every word he said. Believed him so much that they passed up the likes of Eric Bieniemy, Brian Flores, Doug Peterson for Dennis freaking Allen, ignoring his resume and his horrible coaching record with the Raiders, all because he could keep the Sean Payton culture alive. So in comes Dennis Allen as the Saints' new head coach, and I knew from the minute this son of a bitch signed the dotted line that this was going to be a terrible mistake, and fast forward to now, I was right. He's fucking up my Saints. Now we at the present day. This Saints franchise is a fucking joke. It's so bad that if you were to match the Saints with the LSU football team, LSU would have kicked their ass. I mean, LSU ain't got no defense whatsoever, and yet I see them sacking Derek Carr about 6 times. Listen, I'm about to go ape shit on this entire team, all right? I'm about to go Claire Huxtable when she found out Vanessa went to Baltimore to have big fun on this entire organization. Let's start from the top, shall we? You have Gail Benson, the owner of the Saints, the wife of the late Tom Benson. Probably the sweetest white lady you'll ever meet, but God bless her soul, she don't know a damn thing about football. All she's known for is shaking politicians' hands, kissing babies, and cutting ribbons. She's just as useless as Ivanka Trump. Look, I get it. She's a great humanitarian, all right? She gives back to the black community in New Orleans, which is rare, considering that most wealthy white folks don't give a damn about black folks, unless that black person is an athlete sleeping with their daughters. But back to what I was saying, Gail Benson is a great humanitarian. She's just a great humanitarian that don't know a damn thing about football, and is unaware that our fucking kingdom is falling apart before our very eyes. The only Benson, and y'all don't know this at all, that's why I'm about to school y'all. The only Benson that knew about football was Rita Benson LeBlanc, but they managed to piss her off out the door. Then you have Mickey Loomis, GM. This the motherfucker that's okaying this bullshit like a delusional supervisor. Yo, the fact that you think just because you brought Breeze and Peyton to New Orleans and they gave the Saints their one and only Super Bowl, that makes you inevitable like Thanos, and that every decision you make is the right one. Yet he's too stupid to realize that the NFL has evolved and he's not willing to make any changes because he's afraid to rebuild and he's afraid of the future. Bro, you sound like every other female I talk to that can't get over their ex. Sean Payton is gone and he is never coming back, bro. So he hires Dennis Allen, another stooge under Sean Payton's regime, because he wants to keep that Sean Payton culture alive. Buddy, your whole kingdom is on fire and you don't give a fuck. You see, any normal NFL franchise in a big city, Mickey Loomis would have been out of a job. But hey, this is New Orleans we're talking about. Ain't nothing as normal. Which brings us to Dennis fucking Allen. A dumbass defensive coordinator disguised as a head coach. He ain't a motivator, he damn sure ain't a leader of men. And to keep the Sean Payton culture alive in the Saints organization, because according to them, we're so close to a Super Bowl, they hired this fool as a head coach. Forget his horrible coaching record with the Raiders, he knows the Sean Payton culture. And you know what? So does every other NFL team's defense. That's why the Saints can't win any fucking games. Which brings us to Pete Carmichael, who's not even a real offensive coordinator. He's just some stooge that handed Sean Payton his juicy fruit. Bruh, my high school PE coach can call better plays than Pete Carmichael. And Buddy didn't even want to be an offensive coordinator, but Gail and Mickey, say it with me now, people, wanted to keep the Sean Payton culture alive. So what they do, they begged like Keith Sweat for him to stay, and he did. Not looking for other options in the league, not going through their progressions like a certain motherfucker I'm about to get into in a second. Bruh, the entire NFL knows our offense like a nursery rhyme. And the fact that this stooge still has a job boggles my mind. Speaking of offense, let's get to the quarterbacks. You have Derek Carr, a 10-year veteran who's still bitching and complaining about getting cut from the Raiders. Bro, what are you, a quarterback or a battered ex-girlfriend? Bro, the Raiders cut you because you're trash, all right? You're like a statue in the pocket, you don't go through your progressions, you can't read a defense as if you're dyslexic, and you can't score in the red zone to save your mama's life. Throws tantrums at wide receivers even though the ball is behind the wide receivers because you throw like a female. And DA brought you to the Saints because he drafted you in 2016. Losers of a feather flock together. You have Jameis Winston, Sean Payton's original project, but as soon as Dennis Allen took over, he wanted nothing to do with Jameis. So now this once college football national champion is a backup quarterback that cheerleads on the sidelines. Then you have the Saints O-line. 6 of the weakest men I ever seen play the position in my fucking life. I'm talking about the levees during Katrina were stronger than these gentlemen. Next you have the Saints running backs. You have Alvin Kamara, who's about to pull a Christian McCaffrey and go to a contending team for a Super Bowl. Then you have Kendre Miller, a promising rookie that the Saints can't develop because they can't even develop a PowerPoint presentation for Microsoft Word. And then you have Jamal Williams.
Don't let these tears fool you.
We were fooled. We were all fooled. Because homie, you ain't done shit since you got here. Bro, I'm not even sure you even made a first down this season. Let's look at the tight end room, shall we? You have a TikToker, a cancer survivor, and a 37-year-old dinosaur that the Saints brought back for nostalgia purposes just to sell some goddamn tickets. The Saints wide receivers, you have promising talents in Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, only to get derailed by their quarterback's stupidity. And Michael Thomas, look, I hate to say it, but his time in New Orleans is up. He needs to go. This man has not played in 3 years. Always fucking injured. He's older, he's washed, he ain't got it no more. I don't give a fuck how good he was. I don't give a fuck how good he is. Like, take a shotgun, take the horse behind the pasture and just end it already. Let's go to the Saints defense, shall we? Let's start with the pass rush. You have 4 individuals that can't even get through a papier-mâché banner at a high school football game. Talk about can't even tackle a toddler. Led by Cam Jordan, another old horse that needs to be taken out of his misery. Cam, I love you to death, brother. I appreciate everything you did for my Saints, but your time is up. Then you got the Saints linebackers, Demario Davis and Pete Werner. Why the Saints got 2 linebackers? I have no fucking clue. They need to have 3. Now, Pete Werner is mid, but Demario Davis needs to read the fucking room, get the fuck out New Orleans, and go on a new team. Look, I understand Demario Davis is the heart and soul of the New Orleans Saints defense, but you gotta understand, the arteries are clogged and the heart's getting attacked. Like, homie, you in your mid-30s. Why the fuck you chasing after running backs and wide receivers knowing damn well you ain't gonna catch them? The Saints secondary. You know, what can I say about the Saints secondary? It's a mixed bag of good and bad, happy and sad. When rested, this group is okay. But fuck, if they on the field constantly because their quarterback's an idiot, they gonna get cooked. And last but not least, special teams. Instead of getting younger at quarterback and defense, you get rid of Will Lutz and get younger at kicker. Oh, great idea, Dennis. And you get rid of Blake Gillikin for a 35-year-old punter from Australia with tattoos and a mullet. So what do you do with a team this bad? You gotta blow it up. You got to get rid of everything that has to do with Sean Payton. His plays, his coaches, his biases, his stash of juicy fruit, and it starts at the top. You got to get rid of Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis, all right? You need an offensive-minded coach and GM that can take the Saints to the next level. Jim Harbaugh, Lane Kiffin, Jimbo Fisher might be out of a job next year. Any of those coaches are better than Dennis Allen. And as for GM, I don't give a fuck if it's Deuce McAllister. I don't give a fuck if it's Coach O. I don't give a fuck if it's Master P. Any of those three men are better than Mickey Loomis. And the Saints want to talk about veteran leadership. Leadership. The veterans on this team are old and decrepit. You need to get rid of the dusty-ass veterans, get draft picks for the dusty-ass veterans, draft younger talent to take the dusty-ass veterans' place. You draft a younger quarterback. You make Derek Carr sit on the bench. I don't give a fuck if he bitches, complains, or catches a tantrum. What he needs to do is sit his ass on the bench, shut the fuck up, and hold the tablet. I mean, fuck, if you ride the bench, you still gonna get paid $150 million. Hell, I will fucking hold the tablet and sit on the bench for $150 million. You gotta get Jameis out of here. The Taysom Hill experience is over with. He needs to go too. Look, I get it. He's a runner, he's a track star, but the entire NFL hasn't figured out, so he's gotta go. In conclusion, I'm tired of seeing no quarterback sacks, bad blocking, bad play calling, no touchdowns, 3 and outs, and blown coverages. You know what? Give me a quarterback that can scramble for a first down. Give me a running back that can mow an entire defense down. Give me some wide receivers that can catch everything but feelings. I want a fucking monstrous tight end that can catch and block. No more free agent scrubs. Hopefully the Saints can groom him to be the next Andrews, Goddard, Kittle, and Kelsey. And maybe possibly hook him up with a pop star for publicity purposes. I want pass rushers and heat-seeking linebackers that can stop mobile quarterbacks. I want ball hawks for corners and safeties. All this can be possible if the Saints organization can embrace in the future. But we all know that's not going to happen because the Saints organization is trying to hold on to 2009 just like Black Widow was holding on to Hawkeye in Avengers Endgame. I'm sick of watching the Cowboys, Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, Dolphins, Ravens, and 49ers have the time of their lives every Sunday while this once great Saints franchise is fighting for their lives, dealing with the Dennis Allen, Mickey Loomis, Sean Payton culture circus. Y'all let me know in the comments if I left anything out about this fuck-ass organization. And I don't care if the Saints organization and teammates are watching this and sucking their teeth as they do so, because I don't care. Because at the end of the day, y'all are getting paid millions of dollars to play a children's game. Meanwhile, us hard-working folks that are dealing with debt, fighting inflation, and making chicken scratch gotta suffer watching you motherfuckers fuck up every Sunday. Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen needs to go. Y'all stay blessed. I'm out.